Hello and welcome to this short video on how to make SketchUp buildings from scratch. I've only very recently learned how to do this, and it was a complete struggle to even begin to know where to start. So this is for people who already know a bit about Photoshop or image editing programs but know absolutely nothing, like me, about 3D modelling. But you just want to make stuff for this fantastic game. You just want to learn. So I'm going to try and explain what I did. My method probably isn't a good method, but it's a method that works, and that's all I care about because I want to make stuff. So let's get right into it. I use Photoshop, and I use Sketchup and 3ds Max, which both are free to download. I'll probably have a link in the description. And yeah, let's get started. So assuming you know how to deal with Photoshop, you understand the basic principle of an image, you can control the pixels and whatnot. If not, download a thing called Gimp, which is similar to Photoshop. It's free and you can open up image files and have a little play around. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is we are going to go into SketchUp, which is a free download program. It's easy to use. That's probably the best thing for newbies like me. I did try out Blender, which is another one everyone recommends, but I gave it a go and I was just like, nah, none of that. Don't like that whatsoever. Way too ham-fisted. People everyone sort of shot down SketchUp, saying, oh, it promotes bad habits and that, and I understand that. I thought a good analogy for Blender and SketchUp was SketchUp is Notepad. You can just do it, you can quickly make your thing, it's fine, no frills. Whereas Blender's more like Microsoft Word, you can do this and that. I understand that, but for people that want to make stuff, jump straight in with no knowledge, SketchUp's brilliant. So you've just seen me make a little cube. We're going to make a very basic building, so I can explain a few principles as to what's going on, because you might be looking at this thinking, what are you doing, you numpty? So I'm just going to push this in, and that's the great thing about this SketchUp business. You can drag, you can prod, you can play around with these tools. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff, like make a cylinder. That can be like your little chimney, like, let me just bring this up. So it's really nice. And the thing I like about this is, I don't know if this is going to do it for us. Probably not. But I know when I've been working with cubes, it all sort of intersects nicely. Oh, that ain't done too well. Let me go back. Let me stick with cubes for now, because it's all important for what I'm trying to explain. So let's say we've got our building here, we've got a window. Let's draw a window with the rectangle tool. This is what it's doing. The whole thing with SketchUp is it works with these lines basically. If it's got a line round it, it's a model, it's a shape, and you can do as you please with it, so to speak. So we're going to stick with the absolute extreme basics here. In actual fact, for the sake of this, I'll probably leave that there. So, basic building, very, very basic, which I've just done with no knowledge. You can probably do this, in fact you can, because it's so easy. And this is an important step. So we've got our model. You'll probably want to make something more complex than that. But now, when you've done with your model, you're happy with whatever you're making, you want to go to save as, and so important this step, you want to go to SketchUp version 8, because 3ds Max, the other program we're going to be using, this is the only version of a SketchUp file 3ds Max will recognise. So we're going to call this basic, just cause, and that's going to save us a SketchUp file on the desktop, because I like sticking everything on the desktop. Get out of the way, Photoshop, god damn it. And we're going to go into 3ds Max, which you can download for free, remember. It's like a student license thing. It's a wee bit of hassle to muck around with, but it is free. So, hey man, I like free. So we're going to go to open. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead there. I like hotkeys. So Control and O. Go to your wherever you save that model. You're wondering, oh, wait, where is it? Where's my file? All you need to do is file type and go to all files. So you see there, basic. That's our building. That's the one, baby. Oh, yep, that's fine. Just go OK. You don't need to change anything with that. So now we can see that exact model in this strange and very intimidating program, quite frankly. But this is our little 3D view, and we can have a look at that. And yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? Now, I'm as newbie as anyone, so I don't know what those other views are, those fucking isometric views. Sorry, I just swore. I'm a bit of a effer and blinder. But just drag the window, you can see the little thing there. Drag it up so you've got a bit of space. So now, what we need to do, this is the thing where I personally got stuck. I'm used to applying an image onto like a face here. I was assuming 3D modelling was you just pick a texture, apply it to whatever face. So if I went to File, Import, for example, and chose Brick Wall 001, I want that on that face. But that is not a thing for 3D modelling. You have to do this thing, and it's a bit of a bastard, but it's necessary, and that's called UV mapping. I spent hours trying to figure this out, but I think I've got the general gist of it. Let me explain. Basically, you need one single texture file. So let's say an image of... bear with me. One single image, one single JPEG of a certain size. This single texture file has to have all of the components of whatever you're making. So for our building, we would need a wall texture, a door texture, and a window texture, or a roof texture as well. Now, UV mapping is not anything to do with Photoshop. UV mapping, in my mind, or UV mapping, the actual thing, is defining points. So do bear with me while I do this. Very, very crude analysis. UV mapping is defining the points on your texture that you've just made, or have ready. You're plotting points. So a UV map are these points. So I'm just drawing these. Do bear with us again. These should be square, but I'm going quick for not to waste too much time. So I've just UV mapped a texture. You might be sitting there thinking, what on earth is this crap? And exactly my fault. So we're going to do this with our model. This is how you do it with your imported model from Sketchup. We're going to do a thing called UVW unwrap. So go up to here. Hopefully you can see my cursor. We're going to click on this, what looks to be like a little rainbow, I think. The modify thing. Notice I haven't clicked anything other than moving this window, by the way. I've not touched this or anything. You probably can, but just, Christ, don't touch anything. You might break it. It's quite an intimidating program, but it's fairly easy to master. So we've gone up to modify. We want this modifiers list thing here. And we're going to go near enough all the way to the bottom. And there's a thing called unwrap UVW. This is what we want. So we're going to hit that. And notice that we've got like a little light bulb come up here. And we're going to, there's a tiny, almost you can't see it, and probably not on this 720 video. But we're going to click this and it will expand to show these three things. And you want to click on polygon. Again, just touch it. Bear with us here. Now that you've touched that, you want to go to open UV editor. See this thing here? This comes up when you click on polygon. So done that. Open this UV editor. And this little thing's going to come up. You think, oh Christ, what on earth? But don't worry, it's fairly easy to deal with. We want to go to, where is it? Go up to mapping, and we want to go on flatten mapping. And this is going to do what I was saying to you a second ago with the little plots. Another thing's going to pop up here, sorry. Just go okay, no need to worry. Let me expand this. It's very hard to see, but you can see what it's done. There's like these little green grids here, and these are all of the faces. All of the faces for this model. Faces being quite literally the flat faces of the model. So every part, window inside, door, wall front, for example, window, all of that is here. So this is extremely important. It's an extremely important process, important step, and that's what UV mapping is. So now that we've done that, how do we get the texture for this UV map? This texture, this magic thing. This concept was so foreign to me, but watch this. We want to go up to rendering, up to the top here, and we're going to go to render to texture. Got it? Nice. Again, another little important step, but just do as I do. We're going to go near enough straight down, and we want to click on where it says mapping coordinates, use existing channel. Leave it on channel 1. For those inclined, you'll notice over here it's the same, it's number 1. Just make sure that it's the same. Hopefully you can see my mouse cursor. Make sure it's the same as this over here. So go to channel 1, come on down, and now we want to click on this add button, add, and go to diffuse map. This is a basic texture from what I can understand. It's the bread and butter texture for your model. And secondly, click on these 3 little tiny dots, and this is going to come up with a save as prompt for Windows. And we want to, again, another important part, we want to save it as a ping, or I call them PNGs because I think ping sounds goofy. But we want to save this, very important, do not forget this, else it won't work. Save this as the same file name as the model, but you must, oh hell you must, go _D. That means model _ diffuse texture, basically. The game will be reading that as the texture. So point that to wherever, ideally in the same places where your model is. Put it on RGB 24-bit. I don't know the idiosyncrasies of the different file types, but just do, see as I do, monkey do and all that stuff. So we've done that. Target map slot, put it on diffuse colour, because I know sometimes it comes up with nothing, but do that for now. Again, there might be a different way. This is a rough cut example of what to do. Oh, don't do that, Christ. And we just want to define the texture size. So if you've got a big building, I know this isn't particularly big, but I'm going to stick it on 1024. The game developers recommend no bigger than 2048, which for those who are a bit unsure of how images work on computers with Photoshop, that's basically 2000 pixels wide in a square image, so that's a lot of information. But we've gone with 1024, which is quite nice, reasonable. And once we've done that, so we've chosen where it's going to go, where it's going to save. We've done the same channel business up there, and there should be something. Let me go up, sorry. That should not be blank, but it's not blank for us because the model was selected when we did it. When I said don't touch anything when we open the program, that's why. So sometimes it might be blank, but just make sure the model's selected, which we can tell from these green lines here. So, deep breath, everything's all good. We've chosen a diffuse texture, and we're going to save it where we've said. So now click render, and something should pop up. Oof, There we go. So that texture has been saved to my desktop. So let's have a little look. We can close that, by the way. Excuse me. So minimise 3ds. Get out of the way, Sketchup, god damn it. So now I'm going to click on this. It's going to open up in my default image viewer. And yeah, you can sort of get the gist of it here. This is our texture basically. So open that bad boy in your program. I'm going to do it with Photoshop. And we can start doing our editing basically. We can start getting the work done. For some reason, I don't know why, and there probably is a setting. I'm all ears, I'm still learning at this. But for some reason, the thing that's rendered here is upside down. And I think it's just upside down. I don't think it's flipped on an axis, like it's not mirrored. Sorry, I'm just having a see. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, the thing is upside down, so any texture work you're going to do on your thing is going to be reflected. So make sure it's upside down. Or, sorry, make sure you rotate it and save it as upside down. Or if there is a better way of not flipping the damn thing, then obviously do it that way. But this is the way I did it. Let me just... It saves it as a flat texture with no layers, by the way. So I tend to use the Magic Wand tool and just get my segments and do each one and name it the respective thing. So apologies if I'm going a bit fast at this stage. It's not too important, but I'm just getting the basic thing ready. So bricks, let's do bricks here. So we've got some lovely, very realistic bricks going on here. So remember, this is the texture for your whole building. All of these faces are for every face of your model. So this could be the windows, you know, the inside of the window sills. That's probably the door, judging by the width and height of it. And probably the roof, I'm assuming, or wherever. No, that's going to be the underside of the building. One of these would be the roof. And let's give that a save. So now we've got a texture. You're probably wondering, how on earth do you know what's what? Where the hell does that work? So you've seen. Oh god, don't deselect it. You can, if you ever deselect, don't worry. You can just click it in the 3D viewport mode. I think it's called 3D viewport. Oh yeah, check that out. I was right. So yeah, this is only for basic models, by the way. Me personally, I'm not too sure how you UV map multiple things of the same thing. So if this building had windows all the way around, you're not going to fit all of those faces onto this single UV map. But I'm assuming, and I think I'm right, you can tell this magic UV grid system, you can define these points to a certain, well, a few points on the actual model, if that makes sense. So if we've textured one window perfectly, we could tell another window on the building to take that same information. I know it's all a bit off, but again, let's just stick to one for the time being. So we've got our working texture. Amazing. So really, you got to get happy with your texture, do whatever you need to do, but that is the basics of getting a working thing for Cities Skylines. So now what we want to do, an important step, is before, we're not finished yet, we've got to do another thing. For Cities Skylines to read your building, basically, you've got to do this final step. Go up to Utilities, which is the little hammer, and you want to click on More. Just go, oh no, ignore me. Go on More, and all of this crap will pop up, and you want UVW Remove. I don't think I did that right. Do bear with me. UVW Remove. Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, when you click that, this is going to pop up, and you want to click on Materials. and that will remove your textures. I'm not really sure why, to be honest, but it is the only way it seems to work. I don't know why that step's needed, but I assume that the texture file in here is not a texture, it's a material. So it needs to be a blank model. So you remember the thing we saved on the desktop, the diffuse texture, that's the thing that blank model is going to be reading from. You get me? So anyway, now that we've removed it, before you even think of going to export, because I know I've done it a few times when I've got excited about updating my texture and almost finishing, you must always go to UVW remove and remove the materials. So you've got a blank model. Then what you want to do, go up to your main little, well, the main window of 3ds and go to export. Just click on it, don't worry about the little pre-things it's got there, and chuck it on the desktop. So we want to name it what we called it. Was it basic, wasn't it? So basic, and we want it to be a FBX file name, which is the default, and that is the same file type as what Cities Skylines does or reads. Don't worry about the pop-up thing, just go OK, and that's that, man. That's all in the books. So we've got us a working, fingers crossed, it should be, a working model and a working texture. Now what you need to do now is get those into the game. You've got to get that game folder reading them files. And it's got to go in a really specific place, and I'm going to tell you how to get there. It's the import folder we need, and it's a mystical, magical folder that's hidden away for some reason. Hopefully the devs will try and fix that. And what you want to do is, provided you've got Windows 7 or 8, anything with a little search bar, type in the %, app data, and another %, and a little folder will pop up that says roaming, fingers crossed. And what I do, it may depend on your Windows Explorer setup, you need to go back to app data and go to local, and you want to scroll down to colossal order, which is the name of the devs, Cities Skylines, add-ons, go to import, yep, and chuck those mofos in there. So now when you fire up Cities Skylines, I won't do it now because it'd probably take about 10 minutes to get into the fucking asset editor, but that is that. So I'm going to pause the video in a sec because I need to load up the game and show you, but I'm just going to show you quickly, do bear with me. This is my newsstand that I recently made. This is a completed texture, so you can get the idea of what a finished texture looks like. All of the parts, all of the components are in one single file. Just it has to be a single file. And what that finished thing looks like this in 3ds Max. 3ds Max, do bear with me. Oh, did I close it? Are you having a laugh, mate? Nah, bear with me, sorry. What are you on about, opening a new folder? Silly thing. Skyline Mods, newsstand. Bear with me. Yes, there we are. So this is my finished little newsstand gimmick. And you can see, I'm hoping I can dive in still. Oh yeah, here we go. So if you ever had a complex model with loads of UV faces that you had to map, you can, if you're a bit unsure of what's what, you can, he says, sorry, my fault, click on polygon, then click on open UV editor there, click on the things to see on the UV map, aka what your texture is going to have. You can see what goes where, which is extremely handy. So if you're thinking, bloody hell, what's that thing in Photoshop, what's that edge of the sign or edge of whatever you're modelling, it will come up in the UV editor. Remember that you can click there. So very handy. Just what a finished example looks like. Yeah, pretty neat, huh? Pretty fairly easy. He says not modelling a more complex building. I do have another project in the works, so I look forward to learning that. But yeah, if you've stuck with me this far, good on you. It's it's a learning curve, but for very basic models, basic buildings, you need to know how to manipulate image files. You know how to work Sketchup, which is easy. With anything, there's a lot to learn, but I tried Blender, but it was just too ham-fisted. I consider myself fairly smart with programs, but I just want to texture cubes, man. I don't want to bloody make the next Pixar movie. It gets a lot of stick SketchUp, but it's the most accessible, and I've gotten results, so I know there's better ways, but I don't want to hear it when I'm trying to learn how to model basic things, so that's good. So you can get these both for free, and yeah, the next step really is to see what this is like in game. So I'm going to pause it here, and I'm going to come back in a second with the second part. So thanks. Hello again, we are in Cities Skylines, the asset editor. So we've got on our thing in the import folder, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to jump into the building thing. And here, if you're not familiar with the asset editor already, you want to choose the type of building that you want. Bearing in mind this is a growable building, or we could do it as a monument where you choose it to be properable, but for the sake of this, we're going to make a growable thing, which when you zone things in the game, your model is going to start appearing, which is pretty damn exciting, I think. So choose your respective thing, choose a random thing. I'm not really sure if this really matters what you choose, but again, I might be wrong. So we're going to go with a random coffee shop here, go on to continue, and fingers crossed if you've done it right, it's going to appear in here, and it's going to come up, loading. There we are, there's our model, but something's looking a bit wrong here. It looks like a very low polygon iced finger. So to fix that, this should work with the method we've done. If you've followed me correctly, click on the bottom center pivot and things should all look alright. We might have to do a bit of jigging and poking to get it around the right way. You can see where we're going with this. So there we are, our model's in the damn game, and we've only done it in about 30 minutes with no experience. Give yourself a good old pat on the back. So we've got our model, it's all looking alright. I know the texture's a bit rough, but damn it, it works. And what we want to do, if you hold down the right mouse button, and while you're holding the button, go left or go right, either way, whatever way you swing, and zoom out. We've clicked on this button up here, which shows the grid. This is basically the grids that the game uses, as well as a tile of road, I assume, which is this grey bit. So as you can see, our building's pretty damn small. Unless someone's made a diorama in their back garden, we need to make that sucker a bit bigger. So thankfully we can do that using the scale option here. Normally when I type things into the any criteria box on a computer, I press enter, but for some reason that doesn't work too well with the game. I've put it on scale 5. I'm assuming that could be alright. I like to visualise in my mind Sims walking down this road. For some reason you can only zoom in and out and rotate very arbitrarily. You can't zoom in with the mouse. But use your best judgment with what you think looks good. I think we can probably get away with another 0.5. Well, I've done a 6 for some reason. Yeah, maybe that probably looks about right. Yeah, why not? Let's go for that. So if you're happy with the look... Oh, shit. Yeah. See, I'm having a little play myself, you know. You can even do this expanded bit. But if everything's looking fine, remember, click on bottom center pivot, because your textures will be fucked up. So go to continue. Fingers crossed the game's not going to crash. It's blow up or do else. I don't trust this game sometimes. It likes to crash randomly. And there we are. Looking a bit red. So we can change that by doing these colour variations. Set them all to white. That will show your true texture. And there we are. We've got us. We've got us a damn building, folks. Pretty easily, I'd say. So, yeah, that's a building. You've done it. Amazing. You can choose your lighting. Basically simulates the sun, so you can have a look. When I got my newsstand object, or even this texture, I noticed that the textures are very, very vibrant. Personally, I'm not so sure why that is. I guess it's just overexposure with the in-game lighting. You can probably do some setting or whatever, but for this is, that's it. You've done it. There is no more learning. You've gotten a thing in the game. If you're familiar with the asset editor, you can change how many tiles you want on your particular building. So let's say this is a supermarket, or a very small supermarket, or whatever. We chose a commercial growable. So let's, for example, where's the old parking stuff? There we go, parking. So if you put parking spots here, cars will actually, they will actually park there. Judging from that parking spot, I'd say that we've made the scale a bit too big. I like to judge the scale by the in-game props. Yeah, we've definitely made that a bit too big, judging from this. But hey ho, yeah, bit too big there. But you can start again and change the scale. Again, there's probably a better, more streamlined method. You can probably get an accurate scale by, in SketchUp, using your actual proper measurements. Apparently one of these squares is 8 meters by 8 meters, so design your model accordingly in SketchUp. But the scale tool, you know, it works. It's how I did my thing, my newsstand, my very first model. But you can see that our scale's a bit off. But if you make a nicely sized model and you're happy with it in the asset editor, all you need to do to get the final thing, for God's sakes, do this step, is use the snapshot tool. So arrange the camera you're using, aka this one, and WSAD, of course. Get your angle so it's nicely in the position. Click on this little cog, click on this thing, and press once. Just click, because for some reason the game doesn't go ding, or a little thing doesn't pop up saying, "Oh, that's lovely, mate. That's a nice picture." Just click once with the little camera, and go to the little cog, save asset. I probably won't. It's monstrosity, but yeah, click on save as. Put in your description and go to save, and that is it. We're done. We're finished. That is how you make a model, get the sucker in the game, and get it on the workshop. To get things on the workshop, you have to save the asset, go back to the main menu. I'm not going to do it in the video. It's fairly easy. But then you go to your content manager, and you'll have your tabs at the top. It'll say assets, mods, and lookup tables, I think, or whatever. Go on to your assets, your local assets, and there will be a share button, and then you can choose to upload it to the workshop, and bugger me, it's live to the world. The model you've just made, you've just learnt how to make in about under an hour, I'd say. The world is seeing it. Amazing. So that's fantastic. So get your head around working with image tools such as Gimp. Get your head around that damn UV mapping system, and get your head around modelling. Probably modelling first before you do UV mapping. So yeah, I think it's insulting to say if anything's easy or hard, but for me and a lot of people I've seen on the Cities Skylines Reddit, the modding the UV mapping is the hardest, most complicated bit, I'd say. It's not the actual act of doing the mapping, it's just the concept of understanding the defining of points and understanding where parts of your texture file, you remember that single image, it's understanding the points on that texture and on the model where it all goes. Again, that might sound very ham-fisted, but hopefully you've seen how I personally do it. I would say my method is probably not even a good method. I'm not even a novice, I'm an idiot, but I've done it. And hopefully you can do it too. Hopefully you can get making some prop models, some basic buildings. Get busy, get learning, just get stuck in. Because I was sitting there on YouTube for good hours. I spent last weekend trying to learn. And the videos were too fragmented. It was telling you how to do one thing and telling you how to do this, but it was irrelevant to what I and probably what you want to do with Cities Skylines. Just make a damn model, get it on the effing workshop, and let other people enjoy your creations. Damn it, it's not that hard. So yeah, cutting a little promo there on the YouTube world, but hopefully you've learned, and hopefully you're going to be seeing your creations on the workshop. And let me know, give me a link in the comments, and I'll probably subscribe, because I'm addicted to the bloody workshop, getting all the different models, all the different creations that people are making, and hopefully yours. Hopefully you'll understand, and hopefully you're going to be creating in your spare time, probably on the weekend, eating up all your spare time. So thank you for viewing. Again, I'm a new person, I'm not even a novice, I'm an idiot. If this method is good, if it's bad, let me know on how I could improve, such as why does the texture map generate upside down. But for the love of Christ, don't tell me to use damn Blender, because fuck that program. It's too hard for a novice. I don't care what you say, it's ridiculous. But if you enjoy 3D modelling and you think, oh, I want to get better than this, then probably you are probably better off learning Sketchup. But for Cities Skylines, for basic damn models, this is fine. If it gets a bit more complex, then fair enough, move on to Blender, but SketchUp's fine. Fuck what anyone else says, it's a good damn thing, it works, it's functional, it's accessible, what more do you need? Yeah, rant over. So enjoy, thanks, I'm rambling on, I'm gonna go now, thank you very much.